Attention Hy-Vee shoppers. Are you interested in staying healthy this flu season? Get your flu shot at your Hy-Vee pharmacy and get 20 cents off every gallon of gas. Most insurances, including Medicare, offer this benefit at no cost to you. Keep your family healthy and smiling this flu season. Talk to your Hy-Vee pharmacy about flu shots today.
Sometimes during Christmas, something magical happens.
Hey, Cricket customers. The Max with Ads plan is included with the Cricket $60 unlimited plan at no additional cost. And this holiday season, Max is the one to watch when you're feeling festive.
Son of a nutcracker!
Cozy up to all the holiday classics, like Elf, 8-Bit Christmas, and the Harry Potter 8-film collection. Just log in with your Cricket username and password to experience Max on all your favorite devices. Phone plan streams and standard definition programming subject to change. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
How about an AFC West look? Let's check it out now on SB Fantasy Football. What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the SB Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm RD. Today we're talking about the AFC West. That's right, folks. The Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers. So what we're going to do, like we usually do, is we're going to take a look at what the team produced last season, fantasy-wise, just quick hit. Now, some of these players that are on these rosters now weren't on the roster last year, but we're going to take a look and see what they put up last year. And then we're going to take a look at the depth charts, and then we're going to talk a little rankings. How about that? Are you in? Because I'm in. We're going to go A to B. We're going to go in alphabetical order, folks. I would just say B to T or T to B, and we're going T to B this time. So, Denver Broncos, right out of the gate. Russell Wilson obviously led the team with 297 fantasy points. Jerry Jeudy at 204.20. Courtland Sutton, 159.40. Samaje Perine, obviously on the Bengals, 142.10 hit. Now he's obviously a Denver Bronco this year, so looking forward to seeing him there. I loved him when he played for Cincinnati, but I hate to see him go, but he's on a I think he's going to be okay this year. I think he's going to be okay. And then Greg Dulcich, 86 points. Now, these are PPR points. All these stats are from Yahoo's fantasy site, and then we're going to talk some ECR that's from Fantasy Pros later, just to give you a heads up and explain what we're doing here. So then let's move on over to Kansas City. Obviously, Pat Mahomes just drilled everything. 551.90 points. Travis Kelce, 318. Jarrett McKinnon, 198. Isaiah Pacheco, 139. James, what is that? Ronald, who is this? Who is this person? Who's James? Richie James? You telling me Richie James put up 138 points? MVS put up 122, and CEH put up 98. There you go. Moving on over to Vegas. Yeah, I record these things live, so there will be some hiccups. You just bear with me, and let's have some fun together, okay? Vegas. Devontae Adams led the team, 335 points. Josh Jacobs, 330. Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously, he's new to the team. He apparently passed his physical, but he put up 225 points. Jacoby Myers, 184. Carter, 116. Austin Hooper, 97. Renfro, 81. And so on and so forth. Last team here, the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers. Herbert, 384 points. Kind of a down year for him. Everybody had real high expectations. Austin Eckler, steady as always, 378 points. Mike Williams, 176. Palmer, 169. Allen, 166. Everett, 139. And then falls off from there. So, obviously, this division will produce points for you. I think, obviously, mine went blank. Russell Wilson, obviously, losing some weight. He's looking good. I feel like he's going to have a really strong year. This division will be tough. Unfortunately for Vegas, I think they're just going to get steamrolled. Even though I love Vegas, I like the Raiders. I love that Devontae Adams is on this team. But, we'll see what Jimmy G can do, to be honest. Let's go ahead and take a look at the depth charts right now for the Broncos. Starting QB, obviously, Russell Wilson. We got running back Javonte Williams. Starting receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, and Marvin Mims Jr. Greg Dulcich is the starting tight end. Moving on over to Kansas City. Obviously, the QB is Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Starting running back, Isaiah Pacheco with Jarrett McKinnon right there behind him. I think McKinnon can actually do a lot of good things in the passing game, and he actually might be the value pick. CEH is there in third string there. I mean, all of a sudden, they just got a bunch of running backs. Now, receivers is where they're lacking a little bit. Kadarius Toney, MVS, and Sky Moore. And then, obviously, the number one, he's listed as a tight end, but he's the number one receiver on this freaking team, Travis Kelce. I mean, he's just going to keep rocking and rolling. we'll talk more about that later. I don't want to get I don't want to get bogged. Las Vegas Raiders, the depth chart here. Jimmy G starting, Josh Jacobs at running back, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Hunter Renfrow at receivers, Austin Hooper. Now, you have Austin Hooper as a starter, but then Michael Mayer. Now, Mayer's a little bit higher in the ECR. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but those are two solid tight ends. Then with the Chargers, you're looking at starting QB Justin Herbert, running back Austin Eckler with Joshua Kelly right behind him. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Quentin Johnston for the receivers, and then you have Gerald Everett for the tight end. I feel like I already said that once, but maybe that's just me having a bad Sunday here. So tons of talent in this division. We're going to look at some of the ECR rankings here, and you're going to see a lot of top players. Boy, I'll tell you what, a lot of, you're going to notice some things, right? There's some, in certain areas, there's a lot of tier 1, tier 2 guys, and then, boy, there's like tier 5s and tier 6s going crazy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the QBs. Obviously, tier 1, number 1, Mr. Patrick Mahomes for Kansas City. Tier 2, number 7, Justin Herbert. Tier 4, number 17, Russell Wilson. Tier 5, number 29, Jimmy G. I mean, you're obviously not drafting Jimmy G, to be honest, when you get he's not even a streaming option at this point. You don't know what's going to happen. We'll see how their season goes. Chances are they're going to be down by a bit, every single game, because we're going to talk about their defense here in a little bit. So he could be the Bortles effect, where he's just, throwing for 350 yards, but it's all in the second half against a prevent defense. He might put up 3 touchdowns. So we don't know much right now, but if you're not drafting him right out of the gate, right? Obviously, I mentioned Russell Wilson earlier. I think that he's going to have a great season. He's going to be a serious value pick. Now, when you talk about Justin Herbert being the number 7 QB, I mean, I think that's his floor, to be honest. He just got his big old contract. He's number 1 paid QB in the league, and by year that is. And I just think he's going to have a great year. If you can get him at number 7, I'm not talking overall. I'm talking the number 7th QB off the board. You've done well with yourself, right? And obviously, if you want the best, you're going to have to pay the premium for Mahomes. Look, you have that position just stashed and racked the entire year. So moving on to running backs, tier 1, Austin Eckler is the number 2 running back overall for the Chargers. Then you drop to tier 2. Josh Jacobs is number 10 for Vegas. He hopped on a plane and said, "I'm leaving." So, I mean, with the ECR rankings, yeah, if he's on the field and playing, I think, I think number 10 is reasonable enough. I think he's going to obviously regress a little bit, so he might be more like 15. And if there's any other issues and things like that, that's translated onto the field. You know what I mean? I almost don't even want to touch him. Yeah, but he's a real good player, but he's definitely not going to get, he was a workhorse last year. Then you drop all the way down to tier 5 for Javonte Williams for Denver, and number 26, Javonte Williams, and number 29, Isaiah Pacheco. I'm not drafting either one of these guys just because, right? Williams usually has a Q next to his name. I just don't have time for it. He's a great player, lots of talent. Same thing for Isaiah Pacheco, lots of talent as well. But I'd actually, to be honest, I'd rather have, if I'm picking someone late or if I'm stashing somebody, it might be P. Ryan and Jarrett McKinnon. I'd rather have those two, to be honest. Moving on to the receivers, no tier 1 receivers in this division, but one tier 2. We got tier 2, number 8, Devontae Adams, of course. Guy's amazing. He said it before, I don't really care who my quarterback is. It doesn't matter. Well, it slightly matters because they got to get you the ball. I mean, but his talent is undeniable. But with him being number 8, it really shows because it shows that there's a QB issue, and Jimmy G is ranked number 29th. So that is going to negatively impact Mr. Devontae Adams. No, we got tier 3, tier 3. It's number 15, Keenan Allen for the Chargers, Mr. Steady. Now, will injuries come into play? They seem to every single year, but I love Keenan Allen. When I draft him, I know that, hey, look, I'm going to have to end up getting Mike Williams, or this time Quentin Johnston, which we'll talk about because they're lower tiers. Got 2 tier 4s, number 23, Jerry Jeudy, and number 4, number 33, tier 4, number 33, Mike Williams. Sorry, it's a day. I'm telling you right now, it's been a day. Jerry Jeudy I like a lot. Expect good things. I don't know if I can pay the price tag that he's calling right now for his ADP, but then Mike Williams, I've been drafting him for about, 5 years now, and every year his ADP keeps rising and rising, and I don't know if I could pay that premium because chances are you're not going to get Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, stash on your team, especially not at that level. Mike Williams was always like a late round flyer for me, and I just picked him up as a handcuff, essentially. 1 tier 5, number 41, Courtland Sutton. The compliment, Jerry Jeudy. I really think Judy's going to be the guy here. Now, there's people that are talking Sutton's going to be more involved. Sutton's got some injury issues, so I'd rather have Judy if I'm going to pay the premium. But moving on, we got 4 Tier 6 guys. Number 47, Quentin Johnston. Number 48, Kadarius Toney. Number 49, Jacoby Myers. And number 54, Sky Moore. I like Jacoby Myers. Unfortunately, the quarterback situation, right? It does hurt you. Toney, he's hurt sometimes. He was hurt like real bad, and then they were like, hey, we're going to trade you to Kansas City. He goes, I feel great. Everything is working. Nothing's wrong. Quentin Johnston, I think for what you're going to pay for him this year, he's going to be a good stash. I think if you get him in the late rounds, especially with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams having some injuries generally every single year, he could really blow up. Somebody's going to get that ball because Justin Herbert's going to be slinging it this year. I say he's got more to prove than ever. He had a down year last year. I think this year it's full go. Let's see it, Moving on to tight ends, we got Tier 1, number 1 overall, Travis Kelce. You know that, man. Holy hell. If you draft him, you don't have to worry about tight end for the rest of the season. If you have to go stream somebody for a week, fine. Hell, I'm not dropping anybody good to go get a streaming option for 1 week. But Travis Kelce is absolutely amazing. Now you drop down to Tier 3 guy, number 12 overall, Greg Dulcich. I like him a lot, especially with Russell Wilson. I expect an up year for him. So I've always really liked Dulcich, and he did good last year as well. Tier 4, number 16, Gerald Everett for the Chargers. Let's be honest. At this point, you're probably not drafting any of these other guys. You're probably not drafting Everett. Everett might become a streaming option for you. But if him and Herbert start connecting early on in the year, watch him to just shoot up, and he'll be waiver wire priority by week 2, week 3. I'm not kidding. And in the last 2 spots we have here, both Tier 5 guys, number 29 and number 34, Michael Mayer and Austin Hooper for Vegas. You're not drafting these guys. I doubt you're even going to stream them. I don't know if Jimmy G's got it in him to spread the ball around that much to make one of these guys fantasy relevant. We'll know more as the season goes on, but right now, you're just not touching them. Right? You're not doing it. And this is the first time I've included kickers and defenses, so let's talk kickers. 2 Tier 1 kickers. Number 3, Harrison Butker, Kansas City, and number 4, Daniel Carlson, Las Vegas. I think Carlson could have a pretty good year because, listen, Vegas is going to get over the 50-yard line and past the 40-yard line. They're going to be kicking a ton of field goals. They're not getting into the end zone a lot. So that means Carlson's going to be kicking the S out of field goals. And Butker, he plays on the top offense in the freaking league. He's getting his points. Now, Brandon McManus, he's a Tier 3 right now, number 10. Brandon McManus for the Chargers. He's getting a little up there in age, but, the guy can kick. Now, he's going from Denver. Obviously, it's real thin up there. The guy's just kicking 50-yard field goals like crazy. We'll see what he does for the Chargers. And then you got Tier 5, number 29, Brett Maher for Denver. Maher is a name that we know well here in Dallas. But, I can't believe he's ranked so low. I was kept scrolling and scrolling. I was like, all right. He did have, he had a meltdown. He lost his job here for a reason. And, that's what cost him to be number 29. He's like 3 from the bottom, to be honest. Defenses. Now, there's 2 you might draft, and then there's 2 you're not going to touch until the season kicks off and you see what happens. But let's be honest. Tier 3s, we got number 8, Denver Broncos, and number 10, the Kansas City Chiefs. Why did I say the Kansas Chiefs? Broncos, obviously, they usually have a pretty good defense, and they do score points. They're not a bad option at number 8, and then the Chiefs are at number 10. The Kansas City Chiefs the defense has never been like a thing there because the offense is so crazy. But there's a reason Mahomes has to score 40 points a game because they give up 38 points. So I'm not touching the Chiefs. But then again, I'll look at my rankings as the draft comes back around to me. It's my last pick of the draft is a defense. And if I haven't picked like a stellar team or, I'm just going to, hey, if I'm the last pick of the draft, yeah, Chiefs, fine, whatever. Tier 4, number 17, the Chargers. And, you're not drafting them. We'll see how the season goes. Obviously, I say that about a lot of players and a lot of positions because you just really don't know. They could catch fire and all hell breaks loose. Then, dead freaking last, Tier 5, number 32, the Las Vegas Raiders. Can you freaking believe it? Dead last. I guess when you trade away all your talent and all hell breaks loose and you're just getting crushed every year. But hey, to be honest with you, you're not drafting them. You're probably not drafting the Chargers. You could see the Chargers seriously start making some noise week 2, week 3. Obviously being in this division, it's tough for, obviously Vegas is going to get steamrolled. They should, I think, by these other 3 teams. They might have a chance. They might split one here or there, but, obviously Kansas City is a dominant force. Chargers are really good, and they're just getting better. Denver's going to get better this year as well, so it kind of leaves Vegas out on the end. I love Vegas. Who doesn't, right? Well, I know some people that don't like them. But anyways, yeah, I totally expect Kansas City to win the division, Chargers to finish second, but don't sleep on Denver. Denver can make some noise and go somewhere. But that's fantasy for you here. This is AFC West Talk. I'm RD. This is SB Fantasy Football Podcast. Check out our official rankings, either on our patreon.com/strikeoutbeer, or go back and listen to some other YouTube videos. We've posted everything. It's out there. Now, that is as the moment of the released video or audio. Obviously, things change. So we'll have another little update here closer to the season. It's August 6th right now. Hey, football is right around the corner. The preseason's already kicked off. The Hall of Fame game was last Thursday. So football's here. Buckle up. Hey, keep those noties on. Let's have some fun. Thanks so much for being a part of this podcast. We'll see you next time. Adios. Thanks for listening to SB Fantasy Football Podcast.
Sometimes during Christmas, something magical happens.
Hey, Cricket customers. The Max with Ads plan is included with the Cricket $60 unlimited plan at no additional cost. And this holiday season, Max is the one to watch when you're feeling festive.
Son of a nutcracker!
Cozy up to all the holiday classics like Elf, 8-Bit Christmas, and the Harry Potter 8 film collection. Just log in with your Cricket username and password to experience Max on all your favorite devices. Phone plan streams and standard definition programming subject to change. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
'Tis the season for chicken fingers at Raising Cane's. Warm up with cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, and the real source of holiday magic, cane sauce. Happy holidays from Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.